Hi everyone, I have not shared the gift packaging idea in such a long time. I thought that's what I will do today. So I'm going Christmas themed with a lovely gift box but packaged as a gift bag-ish. Will make sense in a moment. So for the sizes that I'm working today, I will need 2 pieces of cardstock. I'm using white heavyweight one measuring 8 by 11 inches. The other one is also 8 by 11, but I left it slightly bigger. So you will see in here, it is just that 1/8 of an inch mark after the 11. So it's 8 and 1/8 by 11 and 1/8. So one of these has to be just slightly, just a teeny tiny smidge bigger than the other. I'm going to score both of these exactly the same way at 2.5 inches on all four sides. That will leave me with the lid having the exact same depth as the box itself. Further, I need 2 pieces of cardstock measuring 10 by 6 inches and scoring down at 3 and 8.5, and on the 8.5 inches I reinforce the score line from the other side of the cardstock as well. So I'm going to start with the base of the box, and this is the slightly smaller one of the two. So I'm burnishing and folding all the score lines, and I'm going to release all 4 tabs in the 4 corners. So I'm just cutting up alongside the score line, and then I'm cutting away a little wedge on either side of those tabs. So one on the inside and one on the outside as well. Just that little bit. It's not large at all. It's just really to prevent any kind of a bulking. So I'm going to repeat exactly the same on the other side. So basically I will have 4 of those little tabs or larger tabs on all 4 corners released, and I'm going to use my quick grab glue to assemble this box or the base of the box, and I'm just making sure that everything is sitting nice and square. So I'm using liquid glue in here because I like using that. It just gives me a little bit more of a room to work with it and get it nice and square. But if you prefer to use double-sided tape or a tape roller, you can do that, whichever is that you prefer using. So this is the base of the box ready. I'm going to set this aside for a little minute, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing for the other piece, which one was a slightly bigger one. And this will be the lid for my box. So because this will be the lid and it will have exactly the same depth or the same height as the box itself, so it will cover up the whole side of my base of the box, I want to add little notches, just little finger holes in the middle of either side. To do that, I'm going to find the halfway point on either side, and to 6 inches it would be 3. But because this is just a little bit longer, 6 and 1/8 of an inch, it would be 3 and 1/16 of an inch. Now, if your ruler doesn't have that kind of a marking for 1/16 of an inch, all you need to do is shift your cardstock alongside that ruler. So there's a 1 millimeter overhanging on either side. So at the start and just past the 6-inch mark. So now I'm marking the middle bit. I pulled a little line with my pencil, which I will be able to rub away. And now I'm using from Creative Craft Products, which I got from Craft, this little punch, and this one side of it is for corners and the other one creates those little notches. I repeat exactly the same step on the other side as well. And just a quick tip, if you don't have a tool like this, before I had this one, I used to use just a circle hole punch to create notches like this. It works just as well. To make sure my lid fits the box perfectly, and I do this often with any kind of boxes with lids that I make, I assemble the lid already sitting on top of the assembled box, if that makes sense. So this way I'm making sure that it's not going to be just a millimeter too loose or just a millimeter too tight. This way it will fit perfectly for the box that we made for it. I do this a lot with, and even with boxes or envelope boxes that I make for my cards, because I think this is just a way to create a perfect fit every single time. So this is, you can see how lovely and tight it is. It pulls off easily, but it is not too loose, so the lid of the box wouldn't be falling off. Now to fold and burnish the other 2 pieces of cardstock that we scored at the start, I'm folding the 3-inch score line in and burnishing alongside of the score line. And for that smaller section on the top, I'm folding and burnishing it both ways. Now this is what will create the gift bag look for my box, and I think this is quite optional, but I think it's such a lovely way to create some packaging. Now to assemble these, I'm going to take the base of the box. It's the one without the notches on the sides, and I'm going to glue it using my color glue onto that 3-inch section of that 6-inch white cardstock. I'm going to add glue to the other side as well, and I'm just going to glue that on underneath again. Now using the color glue always makes everything so nice and sturdy and good quality feel. You can see how the base of this box will be real nice and sturdy. You can add so many things into this one. The paper pad I'm using today to decorate my box and bag is this Candy Lane Christmas from the range, and I probably got this like 2 years ago. It's been sitting there in my drawer, never used before. Those are the bits that I've cut out today. I already prepared my pieces and I will walk you through the measurements now. So I have these 4 pieces measuring 5 3/4 by 5 1/4 of an inch each. I'm adding the white ones on the inside and the red ones on the outside. It's quite optional to decorate the inside. I like to add that bit in there, but it is up to you. If you don't want to use extra pieces of paper, you really don't have to do that. So I just like to do this because it also strengthens up the cardstock as well. Now I'm going to add the red snowman candy cane themed on the outside, and just be sure to check the direction of your paper, because obviously the design on this for the snowman going the right way up. I just have to watch what way I was gluing it on the sides there. Now I'm going to add 2 pieces measuring 5 3/4 by 1 1/4 on either side of the outside of those 1 1/2 inch flaps. I'm not going to add this on the inside. For the bottom of my box, I have one that's measuring 5 3/4 by 2 3/4 of an inch. For the base of the box that I glued inside that faux bag, I am not going to decorate that, but you can. I chose not to because I don't think it needs to be. I'm decorating the lid of the box. So for the top of the box goes one that measures 5 3/4 by 2 3/4 of an inch. And then I have 2 pieces to go on either end of the box measuring 2 3/4 by 2 1/4 of an inch. For the 2 sides, I've cut out 2 pieces of paper measuring 2 3/4 by 2 1/4, and I want to add my notch onto these as well. So I'm finding the halfway, which would be a 2 7/8 of an inch, or again, just shift your paper just to the 1/8 of an inch of a mark at the start of the ruler, find the halfway point and add your little notch. Now, if this is too fiddly for you, you could always glue this paper onto the lid of the box first and then add the notch together. But I think just having that border below that notch as well just gives it a much more finished look. It's just my personal preference. I like to do it separately and then glue the paper on top of the box. Now you can see how this lid fits perfectly on top of the base, and this is how my gift bag looking box will come together. Now for the closure, I'm using these Velcro dots. These are, I think, the 10mm ones, but you can use so many other ways. You could use magnets, or you could just glue this shut together, or you could punch some holes and pull ribbon through to close these up. There's so many ways that you can finish this. I just prefer to use the Velcro dots. Now these already have a sticky base to them, but I just prefer to reinforce it with some strong acrylic glue by Cosmic Shimmer in my little bottle in there. And you can see I'm adding the other side of the Velcro that's now attaching it to them, and then I will add the glue on top of that sticky bit again, and this way I can ensure that it will stick to the exact right place on the other side when I'm closing this up. So you will see me do this right now. I am making sure that everything is nicely lined up. All those corners and the score line are properly lined up before I will just push this shut, just like so. I like to set this aside for a few hours to properly set, and then it will open without ripping the cardstock. It will sit there nice and strong. So the bag box. I don't know what to call it, is ready. It's all down to decorating this. Now I'm going to show you what I chose to decorate mine with. So for the sentiment, I'm going for a sentiment from last year's magazine box kit by Chloe's Creative Cards, and I picked out one of the sentiments that says "Have a holly jolly Christmas." I am stamping it in my stamping platform using my Versamark sticky ink, and I first of all on my cardstock I used the anti-static bag, as you could see me, and now I'm going to take an embossing powder by Wow, and this one is the super fine polished silver. It's such a beautiful one. You will see it turn that gorgeous shiny polished silver color in just a few seconds as I'm heat setting this. Heat embossing never fails to amaze me. It is magical, honestly. It definitely is one of my favorite, all-time favorite techniques to use. I don't think I could get ever bored with this. It's magical every single time. So to cut this out, I'm going to take a circle nesting die set. The one that I have in my stash is by Chloe's Creative Cards, but you can use any that you wish. And with the slightly bigger one, I'm going to cut out that candy cane pattern one already that I used to decorate the lid of my box. I love using this die set. You can see how that one has a scalloped edge to it, and the sentiment itself has a straight edge to it with a lovely pierced detail all around. So I used my cola glue to layer these up together, and now I'm just going to add some foam pads to attach this to the front of my box or bag box. Still don't know what to call it. So I'm adding foam pads and I'm going to reinforce it with a bit of a liquid glue as well for extra stability. And I'm going to curve it just the way that bag curves in there. It is such a lovely sentiment. I really loved using this one. Now, for a little flower, I'm going to use a die set from Chloe's Creative Cards. This is the Elegant Poinsettia die set. It is gorgeous. It has 3 sizes of petals and 2 designs each. One of them is this lovely solid design, and one of them will be a detailed cut, just like this one in here. Now I've already prepared my petals using pearlescent red paper. So with the medium size one, I cut out one of the solid, 2 of the detailed one. With the smaller ones, one of the small solid and one of the detailed ones. With the medium size solid die, I also cut out 2 of silver mirror cardstock, and the same for the Stayman silver mirror cardstock. You may notice how the detailed die cuts look a bit white. I'll show you how I done that, just adding a bit of glitter. But first I'm going to share this die set from Sizzix and the Christmas tree branch one that I cut out 4 times of just plain white cardstock. So to add a little bit of a glitter, all I did is took a detailed die cut and I added some dry clear glue, which you will see me smudging with my finger. I just like to add a very thin layer of it so I don't cover up with my glitter all the lovely detail. Just a very thin layer and dipping it into my crystalline glitter, which is a lovely see-through glitter but adds some gorgeous sparkle. So that's what I done to all the detailed die cuts. Now I'm going to take every single one of these layers and I'm just going to be pinching them upwards. So you see how I will have 5 of the medium and 2 of the small layers in here. This is quite optional. You don't need to have as many layers. I just like to have it quite lovely and detailed. So I'm pinching up every single one of these and I'm just going to use my hot glue gun all the way through to add all these layers on top of each other. I am offsetting each layer from the previous ones, adding the solid layers first and then the detailed ones. By offsetting them, it gives so much fullness to these flowers. And I'm using the medium sizes first and then I'm going to finish it off with the smaller ones. I already made a tutorial and I uploaded it not that long ago using this die set. I created some very simple but very gorgeous Christmas cards. If you haven't yet seen that one, I will leave a link at the very end of this video so you can just easily click on it and go and check that out. This die set is by far my favorite one so far. I will definitely be using this. I think Chloe came out with this one last year, but I didn't buy these last year. I only purchased them like a couple of months ago now, and I have no regrets whatsoever. It is gorgeous. I really love using this one, so I can see myself to come back to this die more and more before the Christmas season is over. So please be sure to keep checking back to my channel. So I have added the stamen, which I cut out of silver cardstock again. I'm going to finish it off with that large white flat back pearl. Of course, you can use smaller ones. I think the large one just adds some cuteness to it. And this is the finished poinsettia. Just look how lovely and dimensional it is with all the shine and sparkles, just so luxurious. I'm in love with how this turned out. So all that's left to do is to glue it onto the bag, but not before I add my branches behind it, which I cut out of the white cardstock. I'm just going to use my hot glue to add them. I'm not sure why I'm off camera so much in there. I'm sorry. All I'm doing is gluing two on either side of the flower, going into opposite directions. And then I'm going to take my hot glue gun and adhere the whole little arrangement onto the top left corner of that faux bag or camouflage bag. I think it's so cute. This is it finished. It was so easy to make. I think the decorations took me longer than the box itself, and it's such a lovely way to package your gifts. Not only for Christmas, obviously, you could make this for any occasion at all. Now I'm being careful with the Velcro that's in there. As I said, it will take a little while for those to set. I will add some close-up images and footage at the end of this video, so you will be able to see how easily really they open up once they are properly set. So it's a lovely spacious box, a 6 by 3 by 2.5 inches. You can add so much in there. But obviously it wouldn't be too hard to adjust this kind of a packaging to a different size if you needed a specific size for a present. Now here's a different color variation that I just made before this one. It's a navy, white and blue, or navy, white and silver, sorry. Exactly the same size, everything's done exactly the same way, except I used a different paper pad, which I will share in a little minute in here. So you can see how the Velcro that's open much quicker, much easier without tearing, because obviously this has been sitting for a while here on my desk now. So I think I love both. Which one is your favorite? Do let me know. I made the flower exactly the same way, only I used navy cardstock obviously, and this one wasn't pearlescent cardstock, yet it is equally just as gorgeous. So the silver glittering, again from the range, is the paper pad that I used for that one. I just very quickly flipped through pages in here. It is such a gorgeous one. I think I will keep coming back to this one to do some more different makes, because I love the navy with the white. I think there's just something very elegant about it. So these are the two bags, gift box / bags, side by side. I really love them, and here you can see some close-up footage the next day. I really hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial, and if you're still here, please do not forget to give me the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet done so, and leave me a comment. I love reading your comments, guys. So I will leave a link to the cards that I mentioned in this video earlier on at the end of this video. Please make sure you check on that as well. And if you click on my picture in there, that will get you subscribing to my channel. I hope to see you back soon. Bye!